Astrology with Jeffrey Bryan. Today's episode is going to be on Archangel Michael and our DNA, because Archangel Michael is the protector of our blood and the DNA. And I've got a PowerPoint presentation I've created um, because of a vision I had in a meditation a couple of nights ago. Now, I've had this presentation in mind for a while, but it was because of the vision through the meditation that I wanted to present this. And so to understand the vision, you kind of have to go back and hear a little bit of a story about what happened to me in my early 20s. I was in this um, head-on collision on the freeway, and I woke up in the hospital with multiple injuries. I almost died. Part of the car went through my leg. I broke my ankle, my femur, fractured my pelvis on all four sides, broke my forearm, dislocated my shoulder, broke 3 or 4 ribs, had concussion, and my face was just covered in glass and it was swollen. And I was in the most miserable pain you could imagine. Woke up with a tube down my throat on a breathing machine. Couldn't move for weeks. Had to learn how to use my hand again, learn how to walk again. And then after that, I got out of the hospital and had to go live with my grandparents for a time because my parents worked and could not take care of me. And I had to have another knee surgery because I broke part of my tibia plateau. And so months and months later, probably 6 or 8 months after this accident, you know, I need to go back a little bit before that. 2 people had died as a result of this car accident that I did not know. And so I was inflicted by emotional trauma and physical trauma and spiritual trauma. And I had no belief system up to this point in my life. Just, went to school, hung out with my friends, played sports, had no spiritual understanding. And this accident opened me up to a whole new realm of healing and spirituality, religious texts, all kinds of texts and study. And I've met many healers and astrologers and meditation teachers along the way. And so when I first got home I was living with my dad. I was in so much pain and agony, physically and emotionally and spiritually. I didn't even know how to meditate at the time. So I prayed and I prayed and I prayed that night in the dark of my bedroom. And I asked for help from Jesus. And I didn't even read the Bible at the time. I just knew that's who you went to. And I opened my eyes, and there he was, sitting at the bed next to me, crouched down, healing me. And I'd never seen a vision before this. And in the ceiling around the room was a legion of angels, more beautiful than you could possibly imagine. The feathers and the detail, countless, were with him. It was the most spectacular thing I'd ever witnessed, even to this day. And so why am I telling this story is because so many people out there are in a hopeless predicament. They don't know what to do. They don't know what decision to make. And so 2 nights ago, I'm a very big transcendental meditator. I do it religiously every morning and every evening for long periods of time. So I'm used to connecting to the source and my soul and higher self, and hitting super conscious states and seeing visions and different things, a lot of things beyond what the human mind and the intellect can even conceive. And all of a sudden, a very old saint, a yogi that many people probably would not know who it is, appeared to me. And he said, he knew that I've been feeling sad and down about what's going on in the world with everything happening, It he said that we fail to see the spiritual guidance out there that contains within the entire universe. Just like that night, he took me back to the vision of my bedroom when I saw those legions of angels in Jesus. Okay. They're unseen, but they're there. There's a spiritual force that people don't know exists, or they do know exists, but we can't see it. We don't have the eyes to see it. Sometimes we can see it, like I did that night. And I've had few experiences similar, but not even close to the magnitude of that. And so I just want to give people hope that there's this spiritual force out there, not just on this earth plane, but in the entire universe, working collectively to end this cycle of corruption and what's going on in this world globally, not just in America, but globally. And so this presentation is all about the role Archangel Michael's playing in a roundabout way. You'll see what I mean as we go through the presentation. So let's get started and I'll open up the presentation. So the title is Archangel Michael, the protector of our blood and the carrier of our DNA. As you can see, this is a DNA double helix. And these are some cool pictures I found of Archangel Michael with his blue sword and his cup. This is just another cool picture of an angel that I found of Archangel Michael that I thought really was beautiful, a beautiful symbology of him. So Archangel Michael, so each astrology sign represents a body part. So I'm going to link this to astrology and all kinds of things. So just bear with me. The sign Aries represents the head and the blood. The key word for Aries, the first house, is I am. I am is an acknowledgement of your existence. It's an acknowledgement of all of our existences. However, on a deeper level, I am refers to each person's connection with the Creator. The I am referred to here is a statement of a truth that you are the Creator in microcosmic form. The I am referred to here stands for your DNA, your genetic heritage, or your soul's karmic makeup. It's also a statement of a truth that I am the macrocosm in miniature. We are in the image of God. We are Him in miniature form. So the I am is your blueprint given to you by the Creator. Archangel Michael is the holder of the original DNA or life force. Michael's importance is that he watches over our blood in this almost unseen war to control it or have possession of it between Lucifer or Satan, which they're the same being, and the spiritual worlds. It is Archangel Michael who in the summertime creates meteors that are made up of iron to absorb the sulfur in the atmosphere by Lucifer to heat up our passions and take us out of balance, feed our insatiable desires and all the things that aren't in our best interest. So what's going on is, as the summer warms up, passions heat up, Lucifer tries to take advantage of our desire nature and our anger and all these passions. And from the spiritual world, Archangel Michael is throwing this energy down to combat that heat, to cool us down, to calm us down so we don't like hurt each other, kill each other, or do horrific things. It's this spiritual war because Lucifer and Satan want to take us out of this world. They don't want us to do what we came here to do, which is to fulfill our destiny that God had us come here for, or our Creator, or whatever you want to call him. So the iron that Archangel Michael puts out nullifies or neutralizes the sulfur in the atmosphere while simultaneously decreasing the sulfur in our bloodstream to decrease Lucifer's control over our desire nature, just like I said. Lucifer's agenda is to keep us doing what we came here to do. He doesn't want us to have a bodily experience, and so he tries to do all he can to take us out of the world, to return us to the spiritual worlds. So these Luciferians, they want to own this world. They don't they don't want us here. And if they do have us here, they want to enslave us. And so this is where the spiritual mechanism of the angels and all this all the other beings out there come into play to help protect and and balance this, or even nullify it or take it out eventually. So this is just another beautiful picture I found of, and I thought that this represented the blood of Archangel Michael coming out with his shield and his staff, and he is the protector of the I am. So why is the blood so important in us? Because it is our genetic blueprint given to us by God, our creator. So I'm going to ask some questions about this for you. I'll let you come to your own answers. What happens if our genetic code gets altered? What happens to our relationship to the creator if science begins altering and manipulating our DNA? We human beings are microcosm of God's macrocosmic universe. That said, do we lose our connection to source in some way if we alter the divine connection to it? How does the macrocosm change if we are altering the microcosms of each one of us, of each individual? Each individual makes up the collective. So what happens when we begin altering people's genetic code? What's it going to do out into the universe to their connection to God or other celestial planets or beings and all their importance? What is this? What is the full ramification? I don't believe anybody knows that answer. That's why I'm asking it to you. As we've seen, science, specifically virology labs, are trying to alter our genetic code, to alter our soul's DNA makeup given to us by our creator. No one really knows the true depths of these consequences. So I just want to ask you to think hard. You may lose your job or whatever over what's going on. Is it worth this? Is this what's going on? Is it down the road? Is this just a precursor? These are very deep thoughts that we all have to have in talks with our family and friends. So now I'm going to show you a meteor shower so you can see what it's like, what Archangel Michael does. So this is Sky and Telescope, the Essential Guide to Astronomy, and this is about the meteor showers in 2021. And so this was from a telescope showing the fireball-rich Perseids in mid-August. So you can see it looks like this laser light. That's a meteor shower. It says here that a fireball from the Leonid meteor shower streaked through Orion's Yorktown, Virginia before dawn on November 15th, 2020. So I thought I'd read you a little bit of this. Every day, Earth is bombarded by roughly 25 million bits of interplanetary debris, totaling more than 100 tons of dust and sand-sized particles. These fragments of space rock strike Earth's upper atmosphere at speeds of 20 to 40 miles per second, creating momentary streaks of light called meteors or shooting stars. Although some meteors look bright enough that it seems you can almost touch them, actually they occur very high up at altitudes of 50 to 70 miles. Derived from the Greek word meteors, meaning high in the air, they're actually fairly common. If you look up into a dark, moonless night sky from a location far from city lights, you'll see brief streaks from sporadic meteors a few times every hour. So they occur a lot more often than we think. They can occur at any time on any night in any part of the sky, and they range in brightness from tiny blips just at the limit of visibility to dramatically bright fireballs that outshine Venus and light up the nightscape around you. The rarest of these, called bolide, shatters explosively into pieces during its rapid descent and can even create a loud boom. So we're here. Because they're arriving so fast, it doesn't take a very large particle to make a dramatic flash. Typically, they're no bigger than big sand grains, and something the size of a pea can create a meteor that's dramatically bright. So that's pretty amazing. Something the size of a pea can be something that bright. Those high velocities give each particle a lot of kinetic energy, which converts heat due to friction in the upper atmosphere. So remember what I'm talking about, Archangel Michael sending the iron out to nullify the sulfur, or is it or the sulfur to nullify the iron, whichever way it is, I can't remember now. But this is what's happening, and we're not even conscious of it on a daily basis. This kind of platonic war is always going on, even though we're just living our life. And now we're starting to come to see these truths in real time. Many people think a meteor occurs because the particle is burning up, but actually friction with air molecules along the path flash heats the particle and its immediate surroundings to thousands of degrees. The air molecules cool down in just a split second, giving off light as they do so. So this is pretty incredible what's happening. So I just want to show you different pictures of the meteors. This is the Perseid meteor shower going on, and they show like different constellations of Andromeda and Cassiopeia and Perseus. And then down here, I just wanted to scroll down. Here's a list of like a whole bunch of the meteor showers. And then down here, you can see this meteor shower while someone's out camping, looks like. And then here's another great picture of one coming down. Like it looks like a beam from Star Trek or something like that, or Star Wars. All right, so let's move on. So just briefly, I've covered this in other videos, but there's an ascension, descension process. So with the whole spiritual world and all the different spiritual guidance I was talking about at the beginning, we have the whole entire astrology wheel that's 365 degrees, and it goes from Aries all the way around and ends with Pisces. And so when we are ascending into the world, we're getting spiritual guidance and healing and planning for our next lifetime, and all kinds of counseling and inserting kinds of different technology consciousness into our genes to encode our DNA and all kinds of different things. And so we start at Aries, the first sign of the zodiac, and we ascend down through Taurus and all the way down to Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and then we end at Pisces. And then we hit the planetary bodies. So we go from the constellations to the planetary bodies, and it goes from Saturn to Jupiter, the sun, then to Mercury, Mars. Mercury is where we do a lot of healing. Mars, Venus is where we learn a lot about love. And then the moon is where we pick up like our life plan, or I call it karma. Karma means action. It's what we're here to do when we come. And it's actually when we're at the moon. And these are in spiritual worlds. It doesn't have to be the physical moon, okay? There's different dimensional realities. But we have a talk before we incarnate with Archangel Michael, and he gives us the confidence that we can do what we came here to do. And then he kind of pushes us off this cliff, and then we end up in our mother's womb to be born into the world. And so even from before we began, Archangel Michael was there giving us spiritual counseling. And so this is the last slide I want to talk about. And I've also mentioned this in other presentations. But this Aries is so important. This is the sign of Aries, and this is the ascendant, or your life mission. A lot of people say it's your how you carry yourself in the world as well. But I like to think of it as your life mission. So here we have, when we're talking about spiritual guidance, we have Pisces, which is a water sign ruled by Neptune, and a lot of the ancients and other types of astrology use Jupiter. So in my outlook in the spiritual way, that's the Neptune's the planet of spirituality and idealism. And so I look at it as the source, or you can look at it as God. It's the highest vibrational frequency there is. And when we meditate, we try to get in tune with that high vibration over time. And Jupiter is the vision, it's optimism and all these things, but it rules the third eye. It's the vision. What is God's vision for you, for the whole universe? So for you, this would be your chart. And so it trines the best aspect possible. So these are all water signs. Cancer is ruled by the moon. That's your home. Your soul, or your subconscious mind, is your home. That's not your home just sometimes. That's always your home. Not like your house here on earth is your home, but your spiritual home is your soul. So we have this source planning with our soul. And then we have up here in Scorpio, it's ruled by Mars, Pluto. Pluto is evolution. It's represented as the Kundalini, or the evolutionary life force. And Mars is action. So it's co-ruled. Action is Mars, and Pluto is divine action, or divine will. So with that, we have the mover of consciousness. The mover of consciousness is, we call it death and rebirth Pluto. We call it transformation and metamorphosis. Well, we're transforming and metamorphosing from the spiritual world to the physical. And then when we die, we do the same thing. We transform from this physical world back into the spiritual through this trine. And when we're pushed off the moon by Archangel Michael, metaphorically speaking, it forms this inconjunction, because evolution is driving us into the physical world. That's Pluto. And we manifest our life mission and who we are, which sets the stage for our life plan that we've been planning through all the zodiac signs and all the planets. And it shows up in your chart, your divine plan for you. And so now we could go into depth on the transcendent planets and how we all kind of have similar things we go through, as well as very different things we go through with our personal planets and what houses and signs there are. But that's for another talk. But I just wanted to give you guys a video on the spiritual guidance. And we all knew we came here for this moment. We all knew we were going to have choices to make. But let's remember that there is spiritual guidance. And let's try, if we can, to pray and meditate, or do kind of energy work, harmonization, or whatever you do, breath work, to calm yourself down and try to get in tune with positive things and look for what these beings are doing for us, even if we can't see it, because there's a lot of disinformation, a lot of lying going on, a lot of corruption going on, and it's very hard to even use our psychic ability and intuition in this world right now because of what's going on. So I hope this video helps you, and I hope you take deep consideration of what I said about the blood and Archangel Michael and the seriousness of our connection with the source, and what that really could mean in the long run. So if you like my video, please give it a thumbs up, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for future videos. And if you'd like a personal reading with me or to learn meditation, visit astrologywithjeffreybryan.com. Thank you, and see you next time.